we're going to take a walk down Photoshop Classic Effect Lane today to go over an effect that is an oldie, but I still see it used out there all the time today. I mean, I see it almost on a daily basis. And it's one of those things you can use it. You can use it on photos. You can use it on special effects. You can use it in video. You're going to see it all over the place eventually. So it's a TV scanline effect. So let's go ahead and create it, and then I'll zoom into it and I'll show you a little bit more about the effect that it creates. So the way we start off here, I usually find, I mean, you can just put it over a regular photo. I'll tell you right now, it's not like a photographic effect. You're not going to go take a picture in, a travel photo in Paris and apply this to it. It's more of a specialized photo effect. But what you would do is create a new layer and then just go to Edit Fill. And just fill with a regular flat color like white works pretty good because we're going to choose black and white eventually. So I always just fill it with white to start off with. Then you're going to come up here to the filter menu and you're going to go down to Sketch and choose halftone pattern. All right. And the default inside halftone pattern, it depends on what you've used it last, but sometimes it'll come up here to circle or sometimes it'll come up here to dots. All right, what you want to choose is come down here and choose line instead. So now you're going to get these straight lines. And as far as the settings go, the size is how thick you want these lines to be. And then the contrast is basically how sharp should they be. So you can see at a low contrast, you get a very fuzzy type of an effect. And at a high contrast, you get a very sharp effect, just like that. So I'll usually keep it somewhere right around 2 here. 1, I think, is going to be too thin. Okay, sometimes it depends on if it's a very low resolution photo, 1 will work, but usually 2 works pretty good here. And then I crank the contrast way up to 50, basically the maximum amount it'll go because I want there to be a very sharp edge on these little lines that we see here. So when you're done, you're going to click OK. And if I zoom into this, it's a pretty high resolution photo. So if I zoom in here to 100 or even 200%, what you're going to see is the lines that it's created here. The way that this effect kind of comes together is you change the blend mode. Okay, just come down here, change the blend mode to either overlay or soft light. And all overlay is, it's just kind of a harsher, contrastier version of soft light. So just think of it that way. Overlay is just a little bit more contrasty than soft light. But now when I zoom back out here, take a look at what it does to the photo, or to the image here. All right, it kind of gives it that TV scanline type of an effect, as if almost as if you ever point a video recorder at a TV and you kind of see those scan lines going across. Very similar to that, but it's a nice little kind of special effect for specialized graphics. Again, I would see a graphic designer using this more than I would see a photographer using it every day, unless you had like a senior portrait and you wanted to make it look like they were kind of a TV star and put some graphics in it and whatnot. But let me show you another example here. So let's just go very different graphic. Again, just create a new layer, go to Edit Fill, fill it with white, and then come over here. I could just run halftone pattern again. I want to go ahead. Let's go to filter render filter sketch, and let's do halftone pattern. This time we're going to take it down to 1. I'll show you the difference here. So we'll click OK, because 1 pixel is not bad for all of them. It's just a much thinner type of a line, and we're going to change this one to overlay instead. All right. So you see the idea. I'm going to zoom way in here. It's just a much thinner line than if I zoom way in here. See how much thicker those lines are compared to what we see here. Okay, so 1 or 2 is going to work pretty good. Again, a lot of it depends on the resolution. If it's a high resolution image, you can probably get away with 2. Anything lower, you probably want to think of going down to 1. But here's a great way to finish this off too. In fact, let's go back over to this photo. Another nice way to finish this off is to zoom out, and on this very top layer here, press Command T on the Mac or Control T on the PC, and kind of just bring your cursor outside, hold down your Shift key and rotate this around so it kind of goes at a 45-degree angle. And then hold down your Shift key again, and you can even enlarge it a little bit if you need to. Press Enter or Return and zoom in. And now you've got diagonal scan lines. So they don't always have to be perfectly horizontal going straight across. You can do diagonal. Another way you can change the way that this looks is by messing with the blend mode. If I go to screen, it gets rid of all the black and it keeps the white. If I go to multiply, it gets rid of all the white. It just keeps the black. Again, we'll try it over on this photo. Let's zoom in. Change it to screen. You can see the difference. change it to multiply. Come down here, change it to hard light. Probably not. Vivid light, maybe not. How about linear light? One of these has to look okay. And it's gonna change for every, that doesn't look okay. It looks horrible, but you could see it's gonna change for every blend mode, but it's also gonna change for every image because these black and white colors are gonna interact differently based on the image, based on what's below it. That's what blend modes do. Okay, so if you're ever looking for a cool little finishing type of a touch, especially for graphic designers, again, if you're a photographer doing like senior portraits and you want to make it have a TV kind of a feel, you could use it there too. But give this effect a try. Again, it's one of those classic effects. I remember doing this effect probably every bit of 10 years ago, but it's one of the effects you'll still see around a lot today. All right, thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.